So you remember that old nursery rhyme, Old McDonald had a farm? The Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo here and a moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo. That one. What if Old McDonald died? What would happen to his farm? And what if we took that story, right, of him dying and told it from a Jamaican context? So this is Old MacDonald, an idea that I have for that story of what it could be. So yeah, so this is that story, and the McDonald name is actually a common surname in Jamaica too, so it actually does work really well. So the context of what I'm thinking, it would be more a rural Jamaica type story, and from there now we can kind of build it out with the Jamaica context, um, and make it a really interesting tell. You know, okay, so it's all leading up to the Demby Agricultural Show, and let's see how we get there. All right, so I have a bit of a storyboard I'm gonna kind of share with you, and if you have any ideas of anything that could make it better, just let me know down below, or anything you want to add, scene wise. So let me know. I'm gonna give you like a general overview, and then um, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. So it starts off with the return after old MacDonald, his father died, and he has to come from overseas to come and settle his father's estate. So he pretty much wants to just come in, quickly, sort out everything, and maybe get it sold quickly, then he can get back to his life, right? Then he comes upon in his father's, I guess you could say, the office. He comes across a lot of final notices, debt, land use as collateral type thing, and he now is in this massive debt because he took over the ownership of the land and all that. So, still frustrated, wants to sell the land and everything, and he is now in the predicament of needing to find a way to get the land sold, or come up with some money to um, save it, right? So that night, after finding these documents and being stressed, he has a dream about the father, about the time when he had a conversation with his father, and he was saying that he built the farm from nothing over many years, toiling, like bad years, so maybe he had like storms and stuff like that he went through, and eventually got worked and worked and worked to the point where he got the farm up to a level. But now we've ended up back in the part where he's in debt and everything still. But because of this dream, he kind of has a change of heart where he decides that he's not gonna sell it. He's gonna try and save it. And here's the thing, right? The timing works out well because what I'm kind of hinging this story around is this agricultural show in Jamaica called Demby Agricultural Show, where let's say there's maybe a competition that year, and he's able to maybe put a couple of the animals up, and because their animals were well taken care of by his father right before his death, so he's gonna try to kind of raise the money that way and maybe save the farm because this dream kind of gave him a change of heart. He's gonna try to save it rather than just put it up for sale. But it just happens that when he goes out to try to register for that show, um, something happens. Thieves come in and steal the animals. Yeah, so they come in and they take the animal, and that leads now to where the conflict starts. And so after that conflict, we get back now to a loop where we will now go to look into who exactly the father owes. So this would now be him talking to who the debtors are. So this could be bankers, or this could be maybe he took some kind of bad loan that needs to be repaid, and no, so now he has to worry about these guys, and also that kind of adds a bit of, what should I say now, urgency to a situation, and he also has to worry about getting the animals because they've been stolen. So after they leave, he pretty much goes inside and sits down and starts sharpening his machete. Why does he sharpen his machete? Because he is actually going to go after the guys who stole his animals. You see this little image right here is one of his father's prized possessions. It's a picture of our guy here as a soldier. You see all of these things that are on him, these shiny things. This means that he's a highly decorated soldier from the JDF before he left. And he's going to use those skills because they've just messed with the wrong farm. And he's going to pretty much go after them with his farming tools. So I know typically you'd use like the gun and the typical maybe the different types of guns and knives, but he's gonna use his farming tools to go after these guys. And with that, it kind of brings in a level of ingenuity, as we get to see instead of the typical just gun and gun shootout thing, you can actually see him use farming equipment. So we see him with a pickaxe, we see him with the machete, and he gets the animals. We see this looks like the truck that was taking them away, right? And then you see it resolve in time for the Dembe agricultural show. And now the thing is, will he win based on the animals and everything? So yeah, but that's the idea. Hope I didn't ramble too much. If you have any ideas that would make this a bit better as a show or a series, just let me know. But yeah, that's it right there.